Welcome back. Today we're going to be flying out the 262A-1 Jabo. This one as well as the squadron variant are highly requested, so I figured I'll finally take these two things out, learn how to fly them, and then teach you guys how to bomb tanks with them, because that's obviously the best way to fly these things. Don't actually worry, I didn't turn into a bomber dad for you today. I have quite a few clips actually. I got two partial games. I didn't really get full games in this thing because either the game was a bit of a ruffle stomp or basically not carryable. I tried to get the snippets that were worth it. I did a lot of games in this thing. I just didn't get any good games, not in terms of that I want to show you. So today I'm just going to show you some small clips and show you how to fly this thing. It's not a very hard plane to fly in terms of how to fly it, but putting it into practice is not the easiest thing, because most planes will actually outperform you, and they will outperform you in a very decent margin. Especially when you get up to it, when you see stuff like this plane over here, the F-89B, you're gonna have a bad time. F-80As outperform you, F-80Cs completely slam you, F-84Bs are annoying, F-84Gs are annoying, especially with the air spawns now, and you're just kind of always in an energy disadvantage. You don't turn well enough to really get out of the guns, so all in all, it's actually a pretty annoying plane to fly. You can make it work, just don't expect to carry versus people that somewhat know what they're doing. Going head on with an F-84G, this is a plane that will completely outperform you, and it's almost impossible to kill if he flies it right. So I fly up over him, start lining up those shots at very long range. Luckily the Horton kills him, I shoot anyway, and then yeah, I actually can make this stuff up. I'm sorry Horton, but even if I tried to team kill you right there, I probably would have missed it anyway. But what is this thing in a nutshell? It's actually pretty similar to the novel that I did yesterday. You have a plane that's very good at high speed, it doesn't compress whatsoever, but getting to that high speed is almost impossible due to your lack of acceleration and just your climb rate. You don't have much speed to work with. At high speed it's good, but you have to get there first. Second problem will be very low speeds. If you go very slow and you start stalling out, there's a very big chance your plane is going to stall out, and once it does, it's gonna start tumbling. Do not try to stall like a hammerhead maneuver, don't try to stand on your engines, because what will happen is you will stall out and you start spinning, and once you go into that spin you're going to lose a lot of energy and most likely it's going to get you killed. The damage model, well, you can survive a lot of damage. One or two shots is mostly going to crit either one of your ring roots or one of your engines, or both or all at the same time. So that's not very enjoyable. And then very lastly is going to be the guns. Sure, they have some pretty good damage. The problem is the velocity. They go 500 meters a second, and when you compare that to 50 cals which go over 900, and most conventional 20 mils going over 800 meters a second, these guns are just very slow, and you really notice this in the head-ons. That 15 kilogram burst mass that the 262 has is actually kind of deceptive, because you don't have a very strong damage model, you get crippled very easily, and your guns simply lack the range, especially in a head-on. 50 cals, they can start shooting at about 1.8 kilometers. They will hit you before you even get to shoot. So you can't stick the head-on from long range. If you want to do that, you'll have to do it like I will show you in this video here. I don't like taking head-ons in this thing whatsoever, but sometimes you just have to. You're outnumbered. Then sometimes it's a good thing to take a head-on, but then the enemy shouldn't take it, but they mostly do anyway, because, well, what on the players. And just to show you how annoying this thing can be to fly, I'm gonna start off fighting an LA-15, which is a full BR higher, who for some reason takes the head-on here. And the only reason I took it is because, well, LA-15 has a 23s and not very consistent, so with a little bit of luck I might be able to shrug off the damage, but here you go, wing root is instantly crit. And there was a second plane in the area called the Su-11, and if you haven't seen the video I did on that thing, you don't have to go and watch it, but that thing is as bullshit as you think it is at 7.0. So LA-15 1v1 will beat me, Su-11 1v1 will beat me as well. So if it's gonna be 2v1, I just simply die. So I'd rather just take one out, at least that's why I go down, at least taking someone with me. And now I can 1v1 the Su-11, which I didn't think I would ever win. But luckily for me, he flies straight through my guns, and I crit him as well. Now I just want to finish this guy off as quickly as I can, because a crit 262 is a very sad plane. Wing root crit will make you turn worse, bleed more speed, be slower, accelerate slower, all that good jazz. So I just want to kill this guy and go RTB, repair, and then maybe win the game. If your main struggle is aiming these guns, I actually advise you to watch the C2B montage that I did. I will link it in the top right. It will give you a good gist on how slow these guns are. Here I'm pretty rusty and I'm missing most of my shots. And now here comes the attacker. I'm not very fast, I'm crit. And the attacker is simply a better plane than me. If you start doing a dogfight, then sure, I can probably win it. thing is, you barely ever start a dogfight on equal terms with an attacker, because it will just be that much faster than you. He flies away, I spray in his flight path, he pulls out of it, and there you could see, if he hadn't moved then it probably would have hit him, but he has so much time to dodge because these guns are so damn slow. Here comes the LA-200, absolute boat of a plane, but it goes over 1100 kps at 8.0. So we go defense. Sometimes you'll meet people at 6.3 and 6.0 and then this thing becomes a lot more enjoyable. Against props this thing is completely workable. Sure, the props outclimb you, but by using your energy smart and using your superior energy retention, you can basically stay untouchable. Of course, when there's a lot of them, it becomes a lot more difficult, but these one-on-ones versus props, especially the Bearcats and stuff, are totally doable. Of course, you don't want them above you, you don't want one sitting at altitude waiting for you to engage anyone, because you will bleed a lot of speed trying to do this. Right there, I have a lot more speed, so I don't have to take the head on. I simply go sideways, and if he tries to follow me up, he will bleed way more speed than I will. And I just don't want to take head-ons with 50 cal, so I just loop over him, and at this point he is energy trapped. The only problem now is getting the guns on target, because they are kind of slow and props are pretty maneuverable. And they're so slow you basically have to shoot into the future. So I will overlead completely here, expecting him to roll in, he doesn't. And then I adjust my lead a little bit and shoot him out of the air, and that's kill number 1. F2Gs aren't the hardest kills in the world, but they are definitely very annoying because they have that insane climb rate on the deck and they're also pretty fast. But we just go back up, we convert all that speed back into altitude because I don't want to stay over 750 kph basically ever, because your acceleration just drops so much that you're losing a lot of energy by not putting it into altitude. Of course, when you're fighting other jets, this is a completely different story, but right now we're fighting props, so I want to have as much altitude on them as I can. And now we do the exact same thing as we did to the F2G, and I didn't cut this stuff out, just so you can see it's all in the same game, and it's not just a fluke. This works pretty well, and this is how I kill most of my props, other than just staying fast, dragging them low, and then killing them that way. Be careful of that stall here though. I don't want to nose up too much, because then I start tumbling. I want to always stay around 150 to 200 kph at the very minimum. This dude is basically stalled out. I go horizontal a little bit to make him flip over, and then I pull back in. And then I start spraying. Get hits. Not sure where most of those shells went. Luckily for me, he's crit to a degree that he's not going to pull out of it anymore. Not sure what I damaged, not sure what I did, but he's going to be crashing from that. That crash took almost as long as my rounds take to reach that target, so I'm just going to cut that out and speed this up a little. Here comes prop number 3. F8F1B again. This one is a lot smarter than the other ones, so it will show you what happens if the F8F isn't just role-playing as a helicopter and trying to pitch straight up for you. But I'm going 500 kph, he's in a slight climb, so he will not be doing anywhere near that. And now I will start pulling over him. Draw him closer, making it look like he's going to get the shot here by simply kind of turning, but he doesn't take it, which is the smart thing to do. You don't want to pitch up for that. But now he waits for me to start looping, he waits for me to start going horizontal, and then he pitches in, which is the exact moment you want to do it, or you want to extend away and go defensive. It depends a little bit on your playstyle. What he's doing here is completely valid. He couldn't really choose, I think, so he starts diving out, bleeding me of my energy, but in a dive this thing up to 800 kph will basically lose no energy if I just put it in a very gradual climb again. Shoot his tail off, at least part of it, and back up we go. We're going to be doing this exact same thing until he's dead. And we're over 1 kilometer away again. Start looping a little bit, start dodging his shots in case he starts sniping me, because those A&M trees go for very far and they hit very hard. So doing the exact same thing as I did last time. This time he probably is a little bit more eager because he's crit. So we go horizontal again to delay the stall, to make sure that I can pull back in once he's slow. And now I can't kill this guy anymore because he's pulling away from me. And there's more people in the area. I wanted to kill this guy, was trying to push him into the ground, but he didn't take it. I can't follow him. And there you go. 50 cal basically grazes me and your wing root is crit. And that's just the experience in this thing. If someone wants to commit with you at last second, then that is what's going to happen. But at this point I'm not as careful about my plane anymore. I'm low on fuel. I want to RTB, so I'm just going to try to kill as many people as quickly as I can, then RTB, take back off, and then start all over again. Go on with the F2G, dodge his shots. And at first board, look how long it took for those rounds to hit him. That was the first burst that hit him and not the second one. Now, this guy has been chasing me around. for quite a while now. I have 30 seconds of fuel left. The F-8F is climbing over my airfield. This F2G is still on the runway, and then there's an F-84B still somewhere on the match as well. F-84B video pretty soon as well, actually. So look forward to that if you care about that thing. I go head on with this guy, dodge his shots, and just full commit it. Because I'm right next to the airfield, and he will probably not one-shot me. He will cripple me in one shot, but if he's dead, I can land, and then, well, I lose the game on the runway. Here we go, F-80A. This thing is completely beatable with a little bit of player skill. You have to be better than the F-80 because the F-80 definitely has the advantages. As long as he's not running min fuel, because he's running min fuel, you just simply die. But if he's running 20, you basically have to one-turn him, just like that. He doesn't dodge my shots. If he had, he probably would have stalled me out. But that's beside the point. You want to one-turn the F-80. If the fight goes on for a very long time, you're probably not going to win it. He has air brakes, he has very good flaps, and he just turns better than you, especially with low fuel. So be careful of F-80s, but the real counter is going to be the Meteor Mark III, because that thing, it climbs better than you. It's not faster, so you just have to run from it all game, but you cannot try to turn fight that thing at all. That thing will absolutely kick your nuts in. It's not a fun fight. F-80C, also a bit like the F-80A, but the advantage goes more to them, but it's still a winnable fight. And this is especially the case if they just fly straight right after overshooting. The last gameplay here, another Su-11, and these things are literally the bane of your existence. I just said that the Meteor Mark III counters you. Well, the Kika and the Su-11 do the same thing to the almost same regard, but at least you can outmaneuver them. Whereas the Meteor Mark III will just kind of climb on your 6 all game, and the moment you engage anything, they will come in, they will air brake you, they will outturn you. They turn as well as a Bearcat, if not better. So really be careful around Meteors. Don't try to dogfight them. The Sea Meteor is winnable. The problem is they have so much more energy than you that they will simply stall you out. But in the end, the Kika, the Su-11, as well as the F-84B and G are the most annoying planes you can face, because they will just force you slow. They will outclimb you, they will push you down to the deck, and they will push you down into the deck versus planes like that thing over there, the Vampire, Meteors, and those planes you can't outmaneuver. So you get pushed slow, and then once you're slow, you can't escape because you get planes like the Vampire in the area. Right now the Vampire is gonna go for the guy in front of me. I'm not too sure what his plan was here. You should always go for the guy in the back, because then if he turns around, he loses a lot of energy, he doesn't get the shot. And if he goes for him, I can simply just shoot the Meteor down, or the Vampire down. Vampire breaks off, and don't manage to get a shot in because I didn't turn well enough. And we turn back in, and right now this combination that they have going on is very, very deadly. The Vampire can keep both of us busy, while the Su-11 simply just zooms in and out max speed, so that we can regain our energy or run away from the Vampire. So they have a very strong team going on here, and I want to kill this Vampire as quickly as I can. So right now I get on the 6, the Vampire is just moving around, and as long as he's paying attention to my nose and when I shoot, I basically won't be able to hit him. I'm trying to push this Vampire slow away from my teammate as long as I can. And when the Su-11 comes in, I will try to dodge him, try to stay on his wingtip because his rudder is very bad and he won't be able to get the shot in. He goes head on with the Vampire, Vampire dodges it, which is good to know because that means that I can try to push ahead on with him since he doesn't want to take it. We turn back around. The 262 is about to die here, and if he does, I need to kill one of these guys as quickly as I can. Any of these two is fine. Go head on, shoot a little bit, he flies in between it after dodging, and the Vampire doesn't want to go head on with me. As you can see, he tries to dodge it, and he tries to reverse me. Bad idea. Turns in front of me. Yes, he would have outturned me, but if he had timed that a little bit better, then he might have been able to win the dogfight. But he mistimed it completely, and I will just end up right on the 6 in a straight pull, which is something I can totally hit. Su-11, F-84 coming in the background, crit the Su-11, he's dead. And here comes the F-84B that I crit earlier. I shot half his tail off in the head-on, and now I'm going 400 kph, and there's just simply no way I'm ever getting out of this one. I'm only going 500 right now. He's coming in directly from the 6, and he's going hella fast. He's hauling balls. So even if I dodge him once, look at that speed, he will simply just outloop me. And the problem is with the F-84s, well, the G not so much, but more so the B, they pull lead quite easily. And there he goes. He hit me once, hit me twice. First shot damaged my engine, and the second shot killed my wing root again. And this is just to show you how bad this damage model is. Nothing happened anymore. They let me land, and I left the game because I'm not gonna try to win a 1v3 when the boat circling the base. That's just simply wasting their time, and I don't want to do that. Apologies for the fact that I didn't get the best kind of footage, but I couldn't get anything better than this. Hope you enjoyed it regardless, hope it was helpful. And I'll see you all pretty soon again with probably an FAD4B video.